guys. Let's connect it up. March 22nd, 2020. We're good. All right, what's coming at you? Wait till it connect. Wait till we all here for some people to join. Coming at you March 22nd, 2020. Walking Dead discussion. Spoiler warning, obviously, for the Walking Dead show, comics, spin-offs, movies, everything Walking Dead related. People are going to ask questions, so I want to be there to answer them. So spoiler warning for all things Walking Dead, but spoiler warning is mainly for the entire thing, but the second half hour. So we'll do an hour live stream. The second half hour, maybe 35 minutes or so, because Michonne's my girl. We're going to talk about the episode. Season 10, episode 13. So leave your spoiler stuff there. People like a little bit to come here and talk about it. So we'll talk about last week's episode and really the first half of season 10. We'll talk about Walking Dead World Beyond. We'll talk about kind of the state of the world right now and how it's impacting things for us as well as The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, and Walking Dead World Beyond. So, hopefully you guys are going to be checking out our videos. We've had a bunch of videos. I have already made a review video of 1013 as well as my breakdown of 1014. So I'll be posting those videos later today. Talking Dead is back on tonight. We have Yvette Nicole Brown, Scott Gimple, and a surprise guest. We'll talk about that in the last half hour of who I think it could be, who it should be, and what's going to happen there. But thank you guys for joining me for this live stream. I appreciate it because I really do. It's one of those things that you're here for your choice. You're here to talk about the episode and a bunch of different things. So what's up, Tommy, Brenda, Jackie, Thomas, Kami, John, Christine, and a bunch of other people, Mark, Jennifer, and Renee, Rob. And thank you guys for being here. Thank you for being a part of the PT Peeps, my Walking Dead family, and my fighters. If you know all three, you know that PT Peeps kind of just like the channel for what we do. Walking Dead family, just people like the Walking Dead, and my fighters like my book series, Fight for Us. So we talk about that. But so far, it's been already a great season. First half was good. Second half of season 10, 9, 10, 11, 12 have been great. Season 10, episode 12, is definitely going to be up there as one of the best episodes of the series, in my opinion. It's one of those things where a lot of stuff happened, action, like a great episode to me is something that continues the story, but also has action, has, sadness, humor, comedy, fun stuff in it. A bunch of things that are in there, and I believe last week's episode, season 10, episode 12, was. I don't know if they're going to make reference to the Talking Dead that wasn't on last week, so for people who watched Walking Dead season 10, episode 12, and were hoping that the Talking Dead was coming back, they were disappointed because it wasn't. Because of coronavirus, of people not being able to fly, to be on, be there open, because a lot of shows are filming stuff without audiences. A lot of stuff are doing without audiences. And I can understand why. It's just crazy. It's just one of those things where I don't know what's going to happen in the next week, next month, but for the foreseeable future, we just don't know when we're going to get stuff back to reality. The virus has to just run its course, I guess. And how it's impacting The Walking Dead is that Fear the Walking Dead, that's the only show right now of the Walking Dead universe that's filming, has been on hiatus and on break for a week or 2 weeks or whatever it is now. So with that being on break, they can't film that, which is going to mess things up for 2020 into 2021 because Fear the Walking Dead is the only show filming. The Walking Dead should start, they already started pre-production meetings and writing and, having the writer stuff and having set up for season 11. But April 12th is supposed to be the Walking Dead season 10 finale, which is still on track for that. But World Beyond was supposed to be that same day. That has since been pushed back to a later date. We just don't know when it's going to be back. If it's going to be back in the next couple months or if they're going to push it back to a later part of the year. We just don't know, but this is supposed to be 2020, the Walking Dead year. It's pretty great, right? So it's one of those things that The Walking Dead season 10 is going to be done. The filming's already done, but it's going to be on television April 12th. And then we were supposed to get World Beyond. Now what? What are we going to get? I don't really know what's going to happen with it, because if they're pushing that back, are they going to try to have World Beyond a month later? And hopefully Fear the Walking Dead can start filming. And I think that's what the thing is. Why did they push back World Beyond? We just don't know. Probably has to do with Fear the Walking Dead to run over to that. We don't know exactly why, but either way they pushed it back. Walking Dead hopefully start filming late April, early May, but that's, a month away. Hopefully stuff calms down and the virus goes away and people start making recoveries and you can start back to work and back to jobs and stuff can start filming again. And not just Walking Dead, Disney Plus shows, Netflix shows, a bunch of different things. So, Lyric go on with a bunch of numbers. I'm worried this will delay the Walking Dead movies. Well, if they don't start the movies, then it's not really going to worry about a delay. I think that they still got to get a director. They still got to get the script done. They still got to do that. But if they get all that done and they still can't film, then it can be a delay. But it could definitely be an aspect to it. And, the back half of the live stream, I'll talk about how season 10, episode 13 may impact that going forward. But I'm super excited for you guys to check out tonight's episode, season 10, episode 13. I'll talk about it in the last half hour more in depthly, but I wasn't mad at it. If you saw the spoilers, if you saw the things that are going around and on our channel, you knew what could possibly happen. And if you read it, it was like, I don't know about that. But I want to say the episode is much better than the actual spoilers and text were. I think reading something and seeing it are two different things. And sometimes it's better on paper than it is in there, and sometimes it's not. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, if people are going to like it or not, but they decided to go that route for it. James, what did you think of Gamma Mary's death? It was really sad to see. It was really sad for sure. I definitely thought that season 10, episode 12 had everything. It had humor with Negan. It had action at Hilltop. It had sadness with Gamma's death, Earl's death, and Alpha's death. And I was like, wow. I don't even know if it was sad. Sorry, I take that back about Alpha's death. That was pretty great. But Earl's death and Mary's death were sad, and it was sad when you watched the episode and you kind of knew that Mary was going to die when she was with Alden, Adam, and Kelly, and we're like, man, I feel bad for them because Mary is trying to make amends. She's looking after Adam. She's trying to be there for Adam and everybody. She leaves the van to get away and to take the walkers away from the van. Alden, Adam, and Carrie can get away, and they did, and it was like, oh man, I don't know how Beta snuck up on her. Beta's a big dude, Beta's a big guy, so I don't know how he really did that, but I kind of felt, if you know what they're going to kind of do, you could think that, Mary is going to save somebody, help our group, and kind of die in the process. It's just kind of what they do on shows and story and writings, because, I could see that happening, because you bring a character around. They usually don't last too long unless it's a big character, like certain characters are introduced at certain points and they can have a short run or a long run. And Mary had a short run. I mean, she was just a season, type of character. And it was a good thing for the show because she's not in the comics, and it was good. I thought Thora Birch did a great job. And I have to say, I don't remember ever being like, why did they cast that person as that character? Everybody that's been casted on the show has been great. Regardless if you like the actor or the character or what, every person has been a great role on the show, whatever they were supposed to be. Like Gregory, terrible. But great. Xander Berkeley did a great job as a terrible character. A bunch of people did great jobs as horrible actors for it. It was like one of those things where the actor played the role of a character just the way they're supposed to. It was pretty good. So, Jonathan Wilder asks, should I give Fear a try? I have yet to watch one episode. That's debatable. I'm going to go with, if you like The Walking Dead, you should check it out because it's connected with the universe. It's just a little craziness with where they go in the first 3 seasons, and season 4 and 5 don't really connect with, the most things of Fear. I don't know why it is. Why they just decided to do things, maybe with showrunners or what. But if you like the story of The Walking Dead and Morgan and everything, it's pretty cool too. So Chopper31, new member, welcome to Level 2 PT Peep. Thank you very much, Chopper31, for joining our PT family and our PT peeps and our Walking Dead family. It's pretty awesome when people decide to do that, because I love when people support the channel, whether it's just being a subscriber, if they are a patron, if they are a joined member, if they do things like that, or you just check out the channel and check out a nice video and post some comments and hopefully you subscribe and you like what we do here. That's always a good thing. And we have a goal of 100,000 subscribers, guys. Before I logged in to start this live stream, I hit 90,500 in a couple, so we need 9,500. So we need less than 10,000 subscribers to hit our goal of 100,000 subscribers. And it's awesome because that's a landmark achievement for YouTube channels, and not everybody gets there. There's a lot of channels that have millions of people, and there's a lot of people who have less than 100,000. And I think more channels have less than 100,000 than more. But ultimately, it's one of those things where it validates what we do, what people like. The big thing that we can have a lot of stuff, because I like the idea that we can have just a bunch of things here. Hold on, let me just block this person here, because we're always going to have the trolls and we always going to have this. Let me see. Don't do that. Okay. Let me see. I hope that'll go through. Sorry, you got to clean house a little bit here, because people will be coming here and trolling it what they do. I guess I don't really check out other channels. I don't watch other YouTube channels for for Walking Dead stuff. I watch other stuff for different reasons, and I hope that the trolls are down there. I hope they're down across the board. But some people just like to cause a problem, and I just don't get that too. I don't know what the problem is, and as well people do. So hopefully you guys are safe and secure, and you got supplies and you got stuff too. So my wife showed me a picture of the Sam's Club that I go to on Wednesdays, that there was a picture yesterday that the line was like so far back. Like if you saw my video about it, you saw where the line was. It was even further back towards the road. Like it might even been to the road where people were in the parking lot going around. And I mean, stuff's shutting down. You can get food, you can get takeout, you can get delivery, you can get certain things, but supermarkets are open by us. And hopefully, I know people that live in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, because I know that if your area is in lockdown, like I know New York was supposed to be on that, California or parts of it on there, as well as New Jersey now, that hopefully people will be safe and secure, and it's going to impact you on there too. Like jobs are shutting down, businesses are shutting down. It kind of feels like an apocalyptic outbreak kind of situation. And my wife and I last night, we watched Netflix and we put on Outbreak. And I watched that movie in the 90s when it came out. I think it's a 94 movie or so. And I watched it again now, Dustin Hoffman and Morgan Freeman and Cuba Gooding Jr. And like so many big actors are in that, Kevin Spacey, and so many great actors are in that movie. And it's a really good movie. And it kind of hits close to home right now to where it's at with, with the current world of the situation the world is in, right? So I'm like, man, I don't know what's going to happen with things now, but you just got to play it safe, calm down, don't let the panic take over, because I know a lot of people are worried. A lot of people are worried that I talk to in person and in life and on the phone and, in the clinic. It's one of those things where people are worried. And if you watch the media stuff, like you watch some of the news, that's all they talk about. And they paint it in the worst light possible, and how the numbers are going up and how things are happening on there too. It just is a scary situation, and it's kind of depressing, So ultimately, make smart decisions. Just be, kind to people. Wash your hands, good hygiene, good universal precautions. And I would avoid going out too much on there too. I know some people are going out, but it's crazy, right? I live in Florida, which is a high retirement state. A lot of elderly people here. And I'm driving to the store, or my wife's driving to the store, and we look out, and there's groups of people just walking their dogs or walking to people and walking their group and just walking all this stuff. I'm like, man, no groups of 10, 6 feet rule. It's like people just aren't really abiding by that too. But, it's crazy. And, I live close to Clearwater Beach. That's one of the biggest beaches in the country. I think it's the best beach in the United States, or up there. It's a top ranked beach. So a lot of spring breakers come here. They go to Miami, they go here, they go there. It's kind of crazy. So it's ultimately like they're shutting down the beaches, they're shutting things down, and hopefully everything is going to be okay. But it kind of has that apocalyptic feel, whether it's in your mind and your thing. And, we're Walking Dead fans, so we can't help to be like, okay, this is that, this is there. But at least we have power and electricity and water and the ability to do stuff. And hopefully at the time we're safe. Hopefully that's where we're at, safe to do things. So. Sorry, I'm talking about it. James, we'll talk about spoilers in the last half hour, so just not right now. Two boys and their pops. Let me see. Bri, your thoughts on Connie? Will she be like Heath and leave us questioning people are buying up guns in California? I know a couple of people like Mark showed me people, pictures of people in St. Louis or, different states, and you're like in cities, and you're like, why are people buying all these guns and ammo? Are the people, they're afraid that they're going to shut down? Same kind of reason, I guess, people are buying all the toilet paper and the paper products, because if stuff shuts down and you can't get it, it would be pretty unpleasant if you didn't have that stuff. But, I don't know what people are actually doing there too. But my thoughts on Connie is that Lauren Ridloff was filming the movie The Eternals. And I don't know if it carried over so much of the time she was there, but she probably had to do pre-production and travel and be away for so long. But we didn't see her in 10 by 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 4 episodes. Maybe we'll see her in 14. Maybe we'll see her in 15. Who knows when she actually returns? But if each episode basically takes 2 weeks to film, and you have 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, that's 2 months to film, because each month is 4 weeks. So you're going to get about 8 weeks for her to film some of the Eternal stuff, maybe to come back and film a little bit. I don't know if they filmed in Georgia or not, because the Eternals is a Marvel movie. I know they have Pinewood Studios in Georgia, so they film a little bit there. I don't know if they were filming overseas or what they were doing, but I think Connie was that. I personally hope Connie returns. I hope returns in a big way, and we didn't see her die, so she's got to be alive. But the Heath question is a big one, because Heath didn't die. He just went away. And he's been gone since season 7, episode 6. That's 3 seasons ago that Heath just went away. I think we see Heath in the movies. I think we see Heath there. Makes the most sense, because it doesn't make sense for him to come back to the show. And Corey Hawkins films, different things, and he's been in movies and different other shows. So I don't know. It's just one of those things that I hope Connie returns in a way. Maybe she connects when Maggie comes back around. That'd be kind of cool. I just don't know what's going to happen with stuff. Let me see some here. Jackie says, Illinois is locked down. Stay safe, everyone. Look out for each other and, look out for one another. And yeah, so I don't know. I would assume lockdown means like you can go to the store and that's it. Just don't be hanging around outside and doing things and just messing around. And, kids are going to be kids, and you see all the spring breakers and they're like, yeah, man, if I get corona, man. We had this trip planned for a while and we're going to do that. And yeah, they're going to be able to just go away. But if they get sick and they go back and they infect other people, you're just kind of spreading it around. And that's kind of the stuff we don't want to do. We want to avoid getting sick and getting everyone else sick, and then getting multiple people sick, especially if they have problems with respiratory stuff like asthma or, elderly other conditions or comorbidities. It's not really a smart thing to do, but, YOLO, right? That's what people's mindset are. Like, I got to do that. But ultimately, let's just be safe and smart and make smart decisions, and we'll be all right with everything too. So crazy. So my wife and I, we watched Outbreak. You should definitely check out that movie. That's a good older movie. It's from the 1990s. I think 94, 95 on there. I forget what it was, but it's a good movie. A lot of good actors in it. Then my wife and I, we put on X-Men Dark Phoenix. And we didn't see it in the theater because I heard it was terrible. And it was crazy because I know that the big thing was that I'm an X-Men fan, and to watch Dark Phoenix on HBO, it just premiered last night. We watched the first 40 minutes or so, half hour of it, and it was okay. It's kind of a traditional X-Men movie, so hopefully you guys are, having different things and having the big thing with passing the time, because that's a lot of time on our hands, I'm always doing stuff online, watching videos and making videos and watching the episode and making videos. And after watching season 10, episode 13, I got a bunch of things to talk about, going forward, and some questions and some good stuff. I started writing again, got some stuff going through for the next couple books for my series. So there's always something to do there too. Hopefully you guys can pass the time and do those, and, maybe do stuff online, read a book, do something, start a book series, start drawing, start doing something, find a creative attitude. Try to make the best thing about it too. It's one of those things where I know the thing is going to be tough if you got kids, if you got people that get bored easily, if stuff's there too. And, luckily we don't have to worry about a lot of those things, but ultimately just be safe and secure out there too. And there's a lot of stuff to do. You can do a lot of stuff online, watch a different show, start a series, start Sopranos or Breaking Bad or something. If you haven't seen it, watch the Walking Dead, start that, get different things going with those, and maybe check out some different YouTubers or different projects or stuff around the house, clean the house, different things. There's always something to do around the house, I'm sure. Let me see. Hectorito 4, my guy Hector. Q&A. Did you know Norman Reedus was a main character in the movie Blade 2 with Wesley Snipes? Watch young Daryl there. So, yes, I did, Hector. You actually messaged me that on Instagram. He's a Scud, I believe is his name. He is kind of a main character. You have Blade, and he's helping Blade there in Blade 2. I don't want to give too much away, but it's definitely a good... Blade 1 and Blade 2 are good. Blade Trinity is like, what were you thinking? I don't know what was going on with that, but Blade 1 and 2 are good. Definitely check it out. Norman Reedus is definitely in there. And that might have been one of the first times I ever saw Norman Reedus on a movie. I watched Boondock Saints, maybe been around the same time, maybe a little bit later. But Boondock Saints, Blade 2, and they're kind of the big things for watching Norman too. So I actually watched Ride with Norman Reedus, the second episode. He is with Ryan Hurst, and they go to Japan. And it's pretty awesome. Japan looks pretty awesome, and I don't want to give too much away. I want you to go watch it. It's on. You can watch it on AMC.com. If you have if you have a login and stuff there, you can watch that. But ultimately, Ryan Hurst, Norman Reedus, they're on motorcycles. They go around different parts of Japan. They go to Tokyo and stuff, and it's pretty cool. And Norman Reedus used to live there back in the day when he was a teenager and stuff with his mom. So that was pretty interesting to find those things. And the Ride with Norman Reedus is a show that it's a different kind of show. It's like a Pawn Stars open road, or Pawn Stars, like a American Pickers open road show. I mean, not Pawn Stars, American Pickers, where they're open road. They talk about things. You learn some stuff. You learn about the area. You learn this. I mean, they're not buying anything, but it just has that open world travel kind of thing. And it's pretty cool to see Norman talk about his life and some pretty cool stuff. And the guest, he also goes to meet Hideo Kojima, because the movie Death Stranding that Norman is in, Hideo made in Japan, and it's pretty cool. I know Hideo from the Metal Gear series, and so that was pretty awesome to see that and how it was, and was like, man, that's pretty cool stuff. So definitely check it out. Talking Dead tonight, and hopefully you can just pass the time along with different stuff going forward in the quarantine times. And I was talking to my dad yesterday, and I called him. Actually, I did FaceTime or whatever with him, and I showed him my cats and everything and on there as well. And I woke him up, and it was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm like, "What are you doing there?" I thought it was like one of those things where you're like, "What's going on? What are you taking naps on there as well?" The other thing is working out. Working out. You can't go to the gyms. A lot of them are, kind of closed. I guess they're all closed, right? I don't know. I don't go to the gym anymore. I got my own workout in my garage. And maybe you can do some body weight stuff, sit-ups, crunches, push-ups, tricep dips, squats, body weight stuff. And also try to get a little, having a big thing with working out and eating right too. It's easy to get the frozen stuff and to get the stuff on there as well. So try to eat somewhat healthy, but, make it. I always joke with my wife, we got to make it last. We got to ration our stuff out. And we do, because I don't want to keep going to the store. I don't want to keep going these places. And, it's getting crazier and crazier out there. But of course, if you can, be safe. Some people are complaining about the lag. I heard that YouTube, Netflix, and a couple other places, maybe even Twitch, were going to cut down the streaming speeds. I don't know if it's true or not, because more and more people are online. Schools are now online. Colleges, elementary school, middle school, high school, all schools of all ages, colleges as well, are doing online learning. So I don't know what it would be like if you were in, school, college, grad school. I mean, man, that's crazy, right? I mean, it's March, schools get out, May, June type on there as well. I don't know. So the internet's going to be getting crazy with that. So do the best we can, and hopefully you can do that too. Another movie, if you want to watch something that's kind of in the current state that we're in, is called Contagion. Contagion and Outbreak are 2 movies that you should check out, along with like 28 Days Later and, Dawn of the Dead and all that stuff too, if you want to check out stuff there. If you like that stuff, I don't know, but just make good choices. Sometimes, like if you go on a cruise and they're playing Titanic and they're playing other movies like that, you're like, that's really not a good choice to be on there. So maybe, I don't know, for it as well. But those are some choices, some options for it. But season 10, episode 12, last week's episode was really good. What did you think of the Negan Alpha stuff? What did you think of, Hilltop State? Where are they going to go? What's going to happen with that? Are they going to rebuild Hilltop later on this season, next season? How is Maggie going to come back and find this place? What actually survived? Who actually survived? We just don't know because our group was kind of all over the place. I don't know who actually is with, we saw people in different groups in different situations, but ultimately who actually survived? Was there another group that we didn't actually see? So, Xmas Girl 304 Q&A, will you be watching Last of Us? I definitely think Last of Us is a show that could be good on HBO. I think it'd be pretty awesome. I played the video game and I can't wait to play the second one. Also, if you are a Resident Evil fan, definitely check out Resident Evil 3's remake. You can play the demo now. I downloaded it on PlayStation 4 and I played a little bit of it and played through it, and it's pretty cool. Nemesis is a tough character, and it's good amount of stuff in there too that you can actually do with Jill as your character, and it's pretty fun to play. So that's coming out, I think, in a couple weeks. But ultimately, check it out. I'm just giving you guys, some options to play and watch and view things to kind of pass the time, because if we're stuck indoors, sometimes it can get really, really boring too. So just checking out the chat on here, guys. Thank you guys for joining me to be here too as well. Last thing I'll talk about before I get to the spoilers and talk about season 10, episode 13 is if you want to check out my Fight For Us book series, paperback versions on Amazon, but also Kindle versions. You get it ultimately right away, and all the proceeds from the book sales come back to the channel as well as the book series, and it's my baby, so it helps support the channel. Fight For Us is a big thing going on there too, so it's something, if you like the zombie apocalypse, it's a different take on it. It's a different world, a different environment, different things. It's set in a different area, so it's pretty cool, and I think it's pretty awesome, and it's an ever-evolving story. Some people are actually in the chat right now, are in the story as loosely based upon characters that we talked about and everything, and it's kind of fun that we've had some input for it. And, I talked about Morgan's toilet paper hoarding in season 1, episode 1, and it's clearly there. And I just watched a couple of different episodes on it, thinking about it, that it was there from like a different aspect. Like, okay, if the world ended, you should have a bunch of supplies in stores, right? But Morgan was definitely toilet paper hoarding. And in season 4, episode 1, we talked about the big spot and how the store looked. It's pretty cool. William Brown, do you think Negan and Beta will fight? Thank you for the $2 super chat. Thank you very much. I hope so. I would love for Negan and Beta to fight. I feel like Beta is going to get in at least one more fight, maybe 2. And I hope we get the comic counterpart story for the show. They already did it with Negan and Alpha, so why not Negan and Beta? It's a pretty big moment on the show. I mean, not as big as Negan and Alpha, but it's pretty big with Negan and Beta. I personally hope they do fight. What do you think, William? Do you want to see that? What do you guys think? Do you want to see Negan and Beta fight? I think it'd be pretty cool. I think it'd be pretty awesome too. Red Rum Review. Norman is in Cigarette Burns. It's a short film. It must have been early in his career. I loved it. I really enjoy it. Yeah, I think I heard that on the Walker Stalker cruise. One of the people that were interviewing Norman said, Cigarette Burn. Check out Cigarette Burn. It's a movie that he's in too. So pretty cool stuff for that. But let me get into it, guys. So you guys, some of you guys are doing that. Xmas Girl. Q&A, do you think Negan had developed feelings for Alpha? I think so. I think Negan and Alpha formed a bond And I personally do think that Negan was trying to talk Alpha out of it. He was trying to snap her out of her mindset to be like, look, don't do this. Don't try to take out your only daughter in a weird way, in a weird mindset, but ultimately it had to be done. But what if he did that and he let Alpha live? But now we know at the end of it, Carol let Negan out and Negan did his end of the bargain. So what is that? What if he didn't do it? Like, what was he supposed to do, right? And then Jackie, do you think Maggie will end up in the group that Stephanie brings to meet Eugene? I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do with Maggie because I think Maggie is connected with Georgie and the twins in that group. I think that could be a separate thing connected with Stephanie and the Commonwealth. Or if they want to connect it that way, they can. I think it's going to be uncharted territory what they're going to do with Maggie and where she's been. I just hope it's answered. I just hope it makes sense. It's answered. And I just hope that I kind of want to see some people are pissed off at Maggie. Like, where have you been? What were you been doing? We've been trying to contact you forever. We haven't heard correspondence from you for months or whatever. You know, I want to see some people get kind of pissed about it too. So, but all right, guys, spoiler warning. We're in the last half hour. We did the first half hour spoiler free of season 10, episode 13. We're going to talk about season 10, episode 13 right now. So spoiler warning for that. Let me answer James's question first. Why haven't our group used guns this season? I understand not using cars, but I thought Eugene was supposed to make bullets. I don't know. We don't know about that. That's a big question. It's kind of a plot hole from season 7, season 8 with Eugene making bullets, and then he never made bullets again. But they never addressed it. They never said why. They never said a bunch of things. I would like to have addressed it either way to say like, oh, we didn't have these parts. Or we didn't have there. Maybe he was so enamored with Stephanie on the radio that he didn't do it and his plan wasn't really working. He was all about talking to her. But that's pretty poor that he didn't teach people how to do stuff. And that's what you would want to do in a zombie apocalypse, right? If you have skills, if you have traits, if you have knowledge, pass it on to as many people as possible. Because you never know when you're going to go, right? Because it would just make sense. If Eugene has this ability to make bullets, why wouldn't he teach both communities how to do it? Because if he got taken out, what are they going to do? Oh, Eugene's gone. We can't do that, right? Come on, right? Just like you have Earl had the apprentice of Henry, then it was Alden. You have someone to continue that trade. Alden can continue to make stuff, right? Too. So, Hectorito, my guy. I love you all, fam. Be smart, be safe, be with. So yes, very cool. Thank you. Appreciate the super chat as well as everybody taking the time. So here, guys, spoiler warning, season 10, episode 13. We're going to get into it now. I answered a couple more questions, but let's get into it. So it's a Michonne episode. It's the Michonne episode. I'm guessing we're not going to get another Michonne episode this season. They didn't really say that. It didn't say like Michonne's last episode. And we haven't heard anything confirmation from that from AMC. But the word is that we're thinking that we're going to have that too. So it's the Michonne episode. It starts with a what if alternate universe situation if Michonne never saved Andrea. It's the opening minutes that we saw and we talked about in another video. So Michonne has her pet walkers. She comes across a body, takes out a walker. Andrea is fighting off walkers in the woods. There's a lot of pre-used footage in the episode, and I'm not mad at it at all. But you just kind of feel like, okay, a different thing. But ultimately, Andrea is killed by the walkers instead of Michonne saving her. And she's eaten by walkers and devoured by walkers. We find out later. But so Michonne goes to the island naval base with with Virgil. Virgil and Michonne go back to the naval base. And then we find out that Virgil lied to Michonne. There's no guns. There's no munitions. And Virgil is crazy. Virgil took Michonne back because he wanted Michonne to kill Rippers, which are walkers. Again, another name for zombies other than zombies. Rippers, walkers, geeks, deadheads, whatever, a bunch of different names, but Rippers. And we come to the island and we do a bunch of things. And Michonne is pissed. She's like, where's your family at? Where's the guns at? And then it turns out that people died. There's a graveyard, there's a thing, there's graves, and then it turns out that Michonne went to the island to help Virgil, and Virgil's family is gone. Virgil doesn't have his family anymore. They were, it's kind of unclear if they're like walkers, if they're people, if they were this, if they were buried, but they're not there for sure. But ultimately, Virgil lied to Michonne. Michonne tried to goes in with Virgil, and there's all these walkers, right? So there's all these walkers, and Virgil takes Michonne to the area. Michonne takes all these walkers out because Michonne's a badass, that's for sure, and saves Virgil. And then Virgil constantly tells Michonne, the area is not safe. The island's not clear. It's not safe. Don't go looking around. Don't go in that building. Don't go there. There's animals. Get in there. And basically, don't go in that building because Virgil locked up 3 people that used to be on the island with him. But let me see. The Big Bang Theory Sheldor, thank you for the super chat. Do you think The Walking Dead Season 11 and Fear the Walking Dead Season 6 will get delayed to next year since World Beyond got delayed? Also, how do you feel about that? Well, how do I feel about it? It sucks. But ultimately, it's one of those things that stuff needs to be pushed back per AMC and the stuff that they're going to do and the network. I don't know about pushing it back. I don't know if they're going to push back Fear the Walking Dead all the way to next year, but they're going to have to do something because if they can't film, what are they going to do? This is going to mess things up. If the filming delay, it goes more and more and more, longer and longer and longer, that's going to push everything back and it's not going to be good. But I could see, because if The Walking Dead can't film April and May and they film June or July, or if not later into it, it's got to go into next year. So it definitely is a possibility, and that's going to mess things up. That's for sure. But thank you, The Big Bang Theory Sheldor, for the super chat. Hector, William Brown, and Chopper31 for becoming a member. Thank you very much. But so back to season 10, episode 13. So Virgil lied to Michonne, and Michonne goes out at night. She doesn't really know that he lied yet. It kind of comes out later that he lied and stuff. But Michonne goes around and she's looking for weapons. She's looking for guns, looking for munitions to take back to fight the Whisperers. She goes out at night. She comes around this dark and gloomy stuff. She's opening up crates and she's looking up things. She's not finding anything. She ends up going into this cell holding area, and Virgil sees her and shuts the door and locks it. And he's like, I told you not to do this. I told you not to come in here. I told you to do this. I can't let you out. You would kill me. Because Virgil's not like the most tactical guy. He's not a fighter. He gets cut and stabbed in a bunch of different times. And, Michonne would easily take him out because he's, a smart. He's a smart guy, but he knows what to do. But he's a trickster somewhat as well. So, Renee, she asks at the PT channel, what would you rate this episode? So season 10, episode 13, I don't know the scale, what we want to do. Are we doing A through F? Are we doing out of 100? I would give it a solid, probably an average score. If we're going A through F, I give it a C plus. 75, whatever you want to give it. But it's okay. It's better than I thought. When you initially hear things, it's like, I don't know about that. So there's a lot of things like the Michonne stuff on the island. She's there to find guns and this and that. And then we find out that Virgil locks her in a jail cell or holding cell or whatever. And Virgil had this plan to take Michonne back. But it's kind of like, all right, this kind of what you brought on yourself, Michonne, because it's Michonne and Virgil. Maybe they couldn't fit another person on the boat, but you should have went with somebody. You don't know. It could have been a trap. And it turns out it was like kind of a trap. So Michonne's locked up in the jail cell thing, and she can hear people talking next to her in another holding cell, jail cell kind of thing. And it's 3 people that knew Virgil before all this. Michonne falls asleep and this and talks. And, turns out that Virgil feeds her and gives her food, but he also drugs her. I guess there was something in the tea and whatever. And it's kind of like not clearly explained 100% what he actually does, but he gives her something that makes her hallucinate. And she passes out, and then the hallucinations start. So kind of the start of the episode with Michonne and Andrea was a hallucination of what could have been or what could have been or what should have been if Michonne didn't do that. But then they go back to Michonne going to the body of Andrea that's all devoured and tore up. She finds a knife and she finds the canteen, but she doesn't have her pet walkers. I don't know why she doesn't have that, because, she should, that's what she had. And she got rid of the walkers when she went and met the governor, and she killed them because they were making all this noise. So she should still have them. But it's one of those things where I don't know. It's interesting, but it's one of those things where you're like, all right, this is where we're going with, because when we had the Rick episode, right? We had his hallucinations of prior things with Shane and Herschel and Sasha. And, it's like one of those things where you're like, okay, I could see what they're doing here. His journey so far when he was on horseback going into the city, and now it's a little different. And now we see it kind of in Michonne's aspect. So they did a similar thing. You kind of got to wrap up the story, where she's been, where she's at, where she's going on there too. The good thing is Michonne lives. Michonne survives. And then we'll talk about that towards the end of it. Michonne survives. But either way, she's hallucinating, and she's seeing Virgil, and she's talking, and she's this and she's that. But, ultimately she doesn't know what's real, what's not. And so we're watching her alternate universe Michonne kind of thing. So she goes to Andrea's body, gets the canteen, gets the, little knife. And then the next scene is she's the person with the orange backpack. And the Hyundai, whatever car goes flying by, and it's Daryl and Rick, I'm guessing, in the car. You only see Daryl, but it would be Carl, Rick, and Daryl if Michonne's out of there, because before it was Michonne, Rick, and Carl. So we see that Michonne's like, wait, and she's basically the same person that she was in season 3, episode 12, Clear, which is a great episode, by the way. And I watched it since then to compare stuff, and it's pretty good. But it's pretty interesting because you have Michonne taking the place of certain characters. So Daryl sees her in the distance, and then they say, all right, let's go. So Michonne becomes the person in the orange backpack. Then in another thing, in the next thing, she's kind of wounded in the woods, and she comes across Negan, DJ, Laura, and other saviors. So she looks at them, and she kind of swings her katana at Negan. Negan easily dodges it and hits her in the stomach with Lucille. And it's kind of funny banter back and forth because he's like, yeah, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't swing your knife at someone like that too. And she's like, no, I shouldn't have missed. And she has like this attitude about her. She's sassy, and it's kind of funny. And then Negan says, well, it'd be a shame getting rid of such a strong person and blah, 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 because we know people are a resource. So Negan hands back Michonne's katana, and Laura throws her an apple. We see an apple a couple times in this episode, but a red apple. She catches it, and then she becomes a savior. So we go from Michonne not saving Andrea, orange backpack, she becomes a savior, and she's part of a savior that are at the outpost. Maybe she's running the satellite outpost. I'm not sure if she runs it or not, but she's a member there. We see Glenn, we see Heath, and in this stead, Glenn stabs Laura in her sleep. So Laura's in there twice. She's a member of the saviors there at this savior, the outpost, the satellite station. Michonne, who's a savior, she has the headband on and some guns. Off screen, she takes out 2 survivors. And then she takes cover, and Rick's killing saviors. It's pre-used footage again of Rick killing saviors. And he fires at Michonne, who's taking cover. And it's kind of like Rick versus Michonne. It's kind of weird to see that, right? And it's pretty good, how they did it with green screen and stuff. And I'm sure they and imposed the new Michonne as in the satellite station, because she wasn't there like that. She leaves the satellite station, then we see the Negan lineup, and Negan is there. Michonne initially isn't in the lineup because she's part of the saviors. So we see everybody, the same people, instead of Michonne, because Michonne is now the right-hand woman of Negan. Negan does his little dialogue, and he's like, nope, you know what? I'm going to let Michonne take over. She's been on a tear lately. So then Negan gives Lucille to Michonne, and Michonne does her thing. You killed them in their sleep, and you got what you deserved, and you did this, and you did that, and, it's kind of crazy. So she points Lucille at herself, and she swings at herself, who's now in the lineup. And again, she's hallucinating. It's not true. You see the different things where Michonne's yelling at Rick instead of Negan. So it's kind of interesting. It's kind of like, I see what they're doing here and what they had to do and how they're going to wrap up her story. But it was entertaining, that's for sure. But it was just like, all right, what are we watching here? We know that this didn't happen, but it seemed like a good episode for like a regular week. But if it turns out to be Michonne's last episode, was it a fitting goodbye? I don't know. The Big Bang Theory Shouter asks, Q&A, do you now hate Virgil? Kind of. I mean, I don't. The big thing I hate about Virgil is that he took Michonne away from Judith, RJ in the battle. We didn't get to see her fight in the battle. But Virgil, if they killed him, it would have been fine. but they didn't. And they said that my mercy is going to save them and going to do this on there too. So I don't know. Renee, 1 through 10. I would give, the episode 1013 probably a 7.5, like I said. Just because about a 7, like the reviewer said before that I shared with you down the road. I think a 7 is a good thing because it's entertaining. A lot of stuff happens, but it's just not the biggest, I don't know, the best way for Michonne to go out. So then she swings the Lucille at her, but then she's running in the woods. She has her katana and she kills the 2 people in the woods. I guess they were Alexandrians or whatever. And then she gets shot in the stomach by a bolt by Daryl. She's like, ugh. Daryl kicks her over. She goes down. Rick points his gun at her, and then boom, Rick takes her out. And then she wakes up. And it's, all pre-used footage of Rick. It wasn't shot at all. So, Virgil comes in and talks with Michonne and blah, blah, blah. Michonne ends up stabbing him in the leg. She gets out. Virgil gets away. Michonne lets the three people out that were there trapped in the other jail cell. So the 3 people and Michonne get out. They hunt Virgil down, and they were going to take Virgil out. And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know what to do. I wanted you to protect me from the others if I let them out because they wanted to kill me. And, I didn't know what to do since my wife died. So she made all the decisions for me and, blah, 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 blah." And Michonne's like, "Well, it's actually going to hurt me or you or the other person that actually, if they killed Virgil, it would actually bother them more than Virgil." So Virgil ends up staying on the island. He doesn't get away at the end, so he stays there. And I guess it's okay that they didn't kill him, so it's a big thing because it's kind of annoying, whatever. But so Michonne talks to Virgil, and Virgil takes her around more. They go into a room, and they find Rick's boots. Michonne smells the boots. She breaks down a little bit. She can't believe that they're Rick's boots. Did Rick actually wear them? Did somebody else? Are they actually Rick's boots? We don't really know 100%, but we're going to be made to believe that it's Rick's boots. Michonne freaks out, and she pushes Virgil against the wall, and she's like, what happened here? What's going on here, right? So Virgil says, there was a boat, there was a ship that came ashore. It happens all the time, and that's the big naval cruiser. I don't know how they got on there because it's just in the middle of the water. They took another boat to get there. But either way, they got on that boat. Michonne's going through stuff. She's looking through stuff at all. She comes through some papers, and it says Virginia Hopewell on one side, and then New Jersey Brigade Shipyard or something, Brigadine or something. But it's New Jersey and a shipyard. So that's the last 2 logs in the boat's log book, the naval ship's log book. So that's where I think Michonne's going to go next, is New Jersey or around there. Maybe Pennsylvania, Delaware, around there. Because they're in Virginia, so it's not too far away. So Michonne, going through it, finds a phone. An iPhone that's not working, or at least she doesn't try to turn it on. But on the screen of it, it has a drawing sketched on or etched on it with some marker or pen or, pencil or something, that it's Michonne and Judith wearing the hat, and it says Rick on the top corner of the screen. So if you look at your iPhone, you got Michonne on your left, Judith with the sheriff hat on the right, and then some symbols above Judith. So it's clearly meant to be that was Rick's phone or some connection with Rick there. So then, Michonne starts freaking out. She's like, "Whoa, we found Rick's boots, and we found a phone with the drawing of Michonne in there." And I personally doubt that Rick made the drawing because we haven't ever seen him do anything artistic. But you know who's with Rick? Jadis. So I personally think that Jadis did it. I don't know why it's not on a piece of paper or it's in a notebook with other drawings or what. It's on an iPhone. I don't know why it's on there at all. But either way, Michonne finds another thing that is a connection with Rick. So the boots and the picture. She goes over to Virgil, who she handcuffed inside the ship thing, inside the cabin, and says, "What did you do? Did you set a trap for him? What happened here? Where is this? What's going on here?" And Virgil's like, "I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know this. I didn't go through this. This is the first time I'm ever seeing that." But, so we're made to believe that Virgil didn't know this at all, didn't know these people, didn't know what it was, right? So basically, Michonne finds the boots and the phone, And then she's got to decide, what should I do? Should I go after Rick? Should I not? So then she calls for Judith over the radio. And Daito is Michonne's call sign. And I'm guessing it was Toto or Doto. I'm guessing it was Toto, right? That was Judith's call sign from The Wizard of Oz. And that RJ, his call sign is Little Brave Man, because Rick is Brave Man. And so RJ is Little Brave Man, which is cute. And RJ had some cute lines, and he talks to him on there too. And it was nice. And it was a nice fitting thing. But the fact that Michonne couldn't go back home in the naval cruiser thing, pick up some people, get another boat from Oceanside, and then go out with people is kind of annoying. It's kind of like, really? Whatever. But she gets on the boat, she talks to Judith, and Judith says, look, what if, the brave man, which is Rick, was trying to get home all this time and he couldn't, and he needs help, and he needs your help, Mom. If you think you can find him, go find him. Not if you find him, when you find him. So Judith gives a blessing to Michonne to go find Rick. And I really hope that, Judith, Rick, RJ, and Michonne are all reunited together. I think it would be nice to have in the movies or a spinoff or something, right? It needs to happen in the universe for it. And it could down the road. We just don't know. This is the start of that. So Michonne gets the go-ahead. And it's like, yeah, I'm going to go after Rick. I'm going to feel about it too, right? So it's pretty interesting. Brooke Lou, love your content. How do you feel that they introduced Virgil with him saving Luke by killing walkers? Then he says he's not good at it. Man, that's a great point, Brooke. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I kind of think that was a lie, because I think that Virgil wanted Michonne to protect him against the 3 other scientists, because the 3 scientists were probably going to kill Virgil. So I think that was the bigger thing of it. But you're exactly right. Virgil's like, I'm not good at killing rippers. Well, you did when he saved Luke when he ran out. So yeah, that's a great point. But I kind of think that was a little lie for it. But yeah, I could see what you're saying there too. I think actually, like I said, that Virgil was more relying on Michonne to take out the scientist more than the rippers. And why did he have a book that he was going to give to his daughter that's not around anymore? Why couldn't Michonne have the book or Judith have the book? But it was one of those things. Pretty interesting. But thank you, Brooke, for the super chat on there. Great question. But then, so Michonne gets the go-ahead. They fix the boat. They got the motor running on the naval cruiser. Virgil is allowed to come with Michonne and the 3 other people. But he says, I'm going to stay back on the island. I got to give my wife flowers every day. And, it's just something that he stays on the island. And then Michonne goes with the 3 other scientists on the boat. Then Michonne's on the boat going away. She comes to land. Don't know where it is. Don't know where they stopped. Don't know why they stopped. What they're doing. But she's on land. We see the walkers. She takes out the hands, the mouth, and all that stuff. She makes 2 new pet walkers, and she walks away with her green cover shawl thing. And then she walks in the woods, and then comes across the path. Comes across these 2 people, a man and a woman. And the man is injured. He can't walk. He needs help. And Michonne takes out her sword, and she's like, oh, do I got to take these people out? What am I going to do? And she's the man and the woman are like, help us. They're going to leave without us. And Michonne's like, who? And they look in the distance, and Michonne goes that way. And it's a big old group of people. I mean, there's like 4 separate groups of major amount of people. If it's an army, if it's a brigade, if it's I don't know, whatever you want to call these people. Then Michonne turns and looks at the group, the guy and the girl, and decides, should I help them or not? And then she thinks back at the prison of when Rick let Michonne in with the formula, and it's pre-used footage of Rick looking at Michonne on the fence, and you hear Carl's line, should we help her? And Michonne kills her pet walkers, helps the people up, and they start to walk towards the big old group of people there too. I think they have horses and whatever, but the people have on themselves, they look like they have cow hides or something thick leather on there to protect them from walker bites and being scratched and everything on there too. So it was pretty awesome that you see these group, but when are we going to get these answers? Is it going to be in the movies? Are we going to find out in 2 years what happened with Michonne? We just don't know. But the Big Bang Theory Shelter Q&A, what if Denai decides not to be in the Rick movie? Then that's terrible. But I would assume that Gimple and Kang and whoever are connected with the show and the movies and Kirkman and everybody are be like, okay, Denai, this is going to be it. Hopefully this is going to set us up for the future of the Michonne character. I guess they could recast her if worst case scenario came, but they've never really done that on The Walking Dead. Either the actor played the character and they killed him off and that was the end of the character, or they went away too. So yeah, that's a great point by Brooke. Yeah, the end was very Oregon Trail to me. I felt like the end. Yeah, it was. It was like, does everybody know what Oregon Trail is? Because I definitely do. It was like you're in a wagon, you have your group of people, and you have to go from wherever, and you got to go on the Oregon Trail. It's a trail was probably a real trail, and you have your group of people. You have to hunt. People get sick. You break wagon wheels. You got to have supplies. You got to do everything. You got to trade and stuff. But yeah, it was a very frontier wilderness kind of thing, not a Western, but a Western wilderness type of thing out there in the wild. So I definitely got that vibe as well. So Michonne lives, and she's going with this people to some group. Is it CRM? Is it somebody else? Is it Virginia's group? Folks call me Ginny. I hope not. If it's going to be something that's connected with some other way, CRM. We found out in the clip from the Walking Dead World Beyond that CRM stands for Civic Republic Military. So the Civic Republic, is that who they're going to be? So I don't know what the great scheme of things are going to be going forward, but I want to know what your thoughts are with it after you see the episode. I did my review of it already, so I'll post that later tonight. I have my breakdown of season 10, episode 14 of it. So we got season 10, episode 13 tonight. And then we got 14, 15, and 16. We got 3 episodes left after Sunday. And then we'll be in April. And hopefully the world is a far better place with stuff opening and far less virus stuff and back to normal with it. Shows can start filming. Stuff can get picked up. Stuff can get put back on, because this was supposed to be 2020, the year of The Walking Dead, with The Walking Dead and then World Beyond, then Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead season 11. But stuff's being pushed back. Stuff's being there too. So I know more and more movies are going to video on demand and not in the movie theaters, because the movie theaters are closed. So I'm just hoping for A Quiet Place 2 to be able to watch that. And, a bunch of different things. We're not sure what's going to happen with filming for The Walking Dead, if it's going to be questioned or not too. So I don't know what's going to happen down the road, but let's just worry about tonight's episode and the next couple episodes for The Walking Dead, and then we'll go from there. It's really not our call to see what they would do, but hopefully stuff can start filming. Stuff can start to get back to normal. Hopefully March into April is better for the world, jobs, everything, I just hope a lot of things are there too. So ultimately, season 10, episode 13 is an interesting take. It doesn't feel like a good ending for Michonne, because it just feels like it's a good episode for Michonne to continue the story of it. And if we were going to see next week and it was going to go with Michonne, that would be okay. But next week is about Negan, Alpha, Daryl, Beta, and nothing to do with Michonne. We're probably not going to see Michonne ever again on the show. So we got this big setup. And so Gimple's going to be on Talking Dead tonight. And he's going to be the old, Michonne's still alive. And Michonne met this big group. So where are they going to go? Is it connected here? Is it connected there? Only time will tell. We'll have to see how it's going to go. He gives us roundabout answers and all this stuff, not to give anything. But Michonne's going to be seen again. In what capacity? We're not sure. She could very well be in the movie. I just picture the lines that he's going to say. And it's just frustrating because he talks in circles, doesn't want to say anything, doesn't want to spoil anything. And it's just like, come on, man, just give us answers. Just give us something that we can go on. And maybe he will. But the history of things with Gimple doesn't really show that way. So we got Yvette Nicole Brown, super fan, Scott and Gimple, and a surprise guest. Hopefully it's Michonne. Maybe it's Virgil. That's the only two that make sense, Virgil or Michonne, but we'll see what happens, who's the guest tonight. But Talking Dead is back. Hopefully you guys will check it out. I'll have my review later tonight. Thank you guys for watching. I truly appreciate it. And it's definitely been a fun chat. I appreciate it. Oh, I see Renee got a super chat in. Hopefully it'll post up. I'll wait for that to pop up, and then I'll answer that. But man, season 10 is flying by. Walking Dead always flies by. Even when the seasons were season 7 and season 8 and they weren't the best, I was like, man, it was going by so fast. For it, Yusef Ahmed, do you think Virgil in Rick movies? I hope not. I hope I never see that guy ever again, unless he does something in a major way, but he's stuck on the island, so I'm not sure. Let me see a bunch of stuff. Let me wait for the stuff to pop up. It's a little sluggish. I'm sorry for the lagging and stuff on there too, but I want to make sure I get this answered for Renee. And I don't know why I can't scroll down and see it. I don't know what's happening here. Maybe the stuff is happening with the new YouTube live stream and the new stuff for it. I personally like the older stuff on YouTube. It's just easier to get that answered for me to go through, because I know how it works. I know how it does. But so season 10, episode 13 tonight is definitely an interesting episode. We've been waiting and wondering how they were going to do it for Michonne's goodbye. I'm personally just glad she survived, because if they killed the character off, it was like, man, that'd be weak. But Michonne's a big character. Michonne's a huge character in the Walking Dead universe, and you never know how she's going to do stuff. But Denai Guerrero's got a lot of stuff going on going forward with Denai's career. She's got an ABC deal. She's got a bunch of things going there too. Probably back Black Panther 2. She'll probably be in some more movies and some different things. But you can usually film a movie way quicker than a whole bunch of episodes of a TV show. So I don't know, but I know somebody asked the question about the Rick final episode and Michonne's episode. I agree with Brooke there that the Rick episode was much better. I think it was one of those things where the Michonne thing just felt like a hodgepodge of things that were just thrown in there that I just don't know. I just don't know where it was. Like Rick's just made a little more sense. Maybe they had a little more time for it. Maybe they had a more for it. I'm not sure what it was. Yeah, I don't know why this is not coming up for me there for the super chat of Renee's. But worst case, I'll answer it in the comments for it there. But I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's episode. Yeah, Brooks is the last one I see. I don't know why that's being crazy. But hopefully you guys can check out my book series, Fight for Us, in 100 days. Fight for Us is the main one on there too. I started writing the next book of the series too, and just trying to get it out there and get it on there because we have a little more free time. When you got free time, you got to put your time together in a big thing going forward and stuff. And I like continue the series, the book series, the story of it, because I'm definitely something excited to continue that. Hopefully you guys will check it out and be a part of it. If you like what we do here, if you like, the zombie apocalypse genre stuff, hopefully you guys will check it out and be a big part of it for sure. But tonight's episode is interesting. It's something that's something I enjoyed, but it could have just been done in a different way. Season 10, episode 14, that's a good trailer. Some big stuff. Eugene, Yumiko, and Ezekiel, they go to find, I'm guessing, Stephanie. They go out there, and hopefully that's pretty answered in there too. I think season 10, episode 14 will be back on track to be a really good episode for it. And, not the Michonne episode isn't good. It's just a different thing. It just doesn't kind of fit the other episode. It's definitely out of place. It was like, okay, we have the Whisperer War, we have the battles, we have this, we have that. And then, oh yeah, Michonne left. And Michonne's a huge character too. So it's just one of those things where you're like, I don't know if that's what it would be. So, yep, I'm gonna try and close it out here. But I think that the super chat, the last one that I saw, is from Brooke, and it's not from Renee. I know it's going to pop up when I'm going to finish. I know that's what's always going to happen. It's a little lagging. It's a little sluggish with it too. But thank you guys for being a part of the channel. I appreciate it. And if you can, hit that subscribe button, tell your friends, tell your family. We have a goal of 100,000 subscribers, and we're getting closer and closer, guys, there. We need, 9,500 subscribers, and we hit that goal. And I'm super excited to achieve that goal. It's because of awesome people like yourself. So thank you guys for checking out the channel. I truly appreciate it. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. It's about love, support, staying positive, making memories. Enjoy tonight's episode. Stay safe. Be, secure and everything. Get your supplies and hunker down. And, do listen to what they're saying about don't go around people in large gatherings and all that stuff, because that's just been a recipe for people getting sick. So thank you guys for watching. Enjoy tonight's episode. Sorry, Renee, I didn't see the super chat on here. I waited for it to post, and I can't go down to viewer activity. It just won't let me see it, but I'll answer it in the comments for that. Thank you guys for watching, and you guys are awesome. See ya.